Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy RB, and this is Philly Take with RB. Now, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan out there and you are excited for the NFL season to start on time, we'll go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you want to stay updated on some great Philadelphia content, I'm going to need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe. Today, I want to talk about a topic that has been on my mind for a few days now. It is 2020. Nick Foles was recently traded to the Chicago Bears, and there are still Eagles fans out there who are trying to compare him to Wentz and give reasons as to why Foles should have stayed here in Philadelphia, etc. First off, let me say this to any Eagles fans watching this video. It is okay for you to cherish what Nick Foles has done for the Philadelphia Eagles and also appreciate and support Carson Wentz going forward. Let me say that one more time. It is okay to cherish Nick Foles and also appreciate and support Carson Wentz. First off, we are going into the second year now without Nick Foles on this roster. It is time to give it up, okay? Like, blows my mind that I can go on Twitter now and still see fans, even when Nick Foles went to the Jaguars, even when he went to the Bears, you still have fans out there claiming that the Eagles should have kept Nick Foles and that we made some huge mistake and that Carson Wentz is not the dude, all that. Stop, okay? I don't understand this narrative of why, because Nick Foles stepped in and won the Super Bowl for Philadelphia, that means that we just can't support Carson Wentz. Like, that means he did something wrong. Let's break it down, okay? For people that do think this way, I'm going to tell you straight up, okay? The Eagles made the right decision. After the 2017 season, you could not keep Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. We know that, right? Because their salaries demanded too much. Nick Foles was hot off the stove on a Super Bowl win. In my opinion, and this is not biased, the best run to a Super Bowl all time. Like, Nick Foles did that. The way his career shaped out and what transpired, Nick Foles was demanding that starter money. A team wanted to give him a chance, okay? And Carson Wentz was just about up for his contract, up after his rookie contract, okay? Well, he was still a year before, but we know now that you have to pay quarterbacks in advance, you know, so that they don't leave in free agency. But Carson Wentz, and I have religiously stated this, the Eagles paid him at the perfect time. 4 years, $128 million. We got him before all the other guys went onto the market, and even guys who I would say are not as talented as Carson Wentz. Like, you see Dak Prescott right now, who's waiting to get paid $40 million a year. Take all of that out of consideration at the moment, okay? Why? Like, here's what people don't realize, and I can't believe people don't realize it. Without Nick Foles, we do not win the 2017 Super Bowl. We know that. But without Carson Wentz, we also do not win the 2017 Super Bowl. Carson Wentz had this team off to an 11-2 start. Carson Wentz set the franchise record for touchdowns, 33 touchdowns, okay? Threw the last one on a torn ACL before he left that Rams game. Carson Wentz was the obvious MVP of the league at the time he went down after 13 games, and in my opinion, still had a case to win it while only playing 13 games. Like, Carson Wentz had a remarkable year. Then Nick Foles came in, was rusty for a little bit, and then once he got his groove under him, he never looked back and brought us and won the first Super Bowl in Philadelphia history. Let's not, like, forget about a few key factors in this situation. First off, Carson Wentz, we saw what he did with the weapons he had in 2017, which, by the way, are not top-tier weapons. Like, we have still not given Carson Wentz a number one, like a definitive number one receiver. We saw what Carson Wentz did with those guys in 2017. So when people talk about, oh, Nick Foles went and did all this in the playoffs, that is true, but Carson Wentz was doing the same thing when he had those weapons, okay? People forget about Carson Wentz's rookie year in 2016. Go look up who he was throwing the ball to, all right? His number one option was Jordan Matthews. Jordan Matthews. And Carson Wentz, even though Doug Peterson was still getting his feet wet as a head coach, even though it was Wentz's first year and he got notified 10 days before the season that he was going to start, Carson Wentz still had a good year, amounted 7 wins for this team, which, in my opinion, honestly, that's probably where we were around, maybe even less. But Carson Wentz had a good rookie year. People forget that. 2017, this guy was an MVP candidate. It was his breakout season in just his second year in the league. He was 25 years old. After you win the Super Bowl in 2017, Carson Wentz is the dude. Like, people forget. How do you forget that we traded so many assets to go up and get Carson Wentz, a guy from North Dakota State, okay? Like, we declared that we were going up to get our franchise dude. Our franchise quarterback. Look at what we traded. All those picks. He is the guy. Like, we named him our guy. So after 2017, just because something that he couldn't control, a season-ending injury, that means that we should just, throw him off the boat. Like, just get rid of him after that. I understand it a little bit maybe during that time, like after the Super Bowl, like, wow, Nick Foles just did this. Maybe we have to look into maybe keeping him as a backup. But really, we go the next year. Nick Foles goes on another great run. An Alshon drop away from maybe going to the NFC Championship. And then even more people popped up like, yo, we got to get Wentz out of here just because he got injured. How about you look at it this way? In 2017, let's not forget, Nick Foles had Doug Peterson, and he also had Frank Reich and John DeFilippo, who are two brilliant offensive minds who developed him a playbook in a matter of, 2 weeks? Carson Wentz, when he had those guys on the staff, look at what he did. Like, people tend to forget that. This last season was so impressive. Might be even more impressive to me than Carson Wentz's 2017 season, because look at what he did. He had Doug Peterson, but who else did he have? Mike Groh? Carson Welch, Press Taylor. You're telling me those dudes even amount to a third of what Frank Reich and John DeFilippo were? No. Let's also not forget Carson Wentz had no wide receivers last season with over 500 yards. Like, keep replaying that in your head and think about what that means. And yet Carson Wentz, some of you people still want to rake him through the coals. This man is so talented. Okay, he's so talented. I have a video coming out soon on whether he's a top 5 quarterback. We will discuss that. Even if he is or even if he isn't, you can't deny the fact that there are few players in this league who can do what Carson Wentz does with the football. Like the throw to Miles Sanders, a couple of the throws we've seen to like Corey Clement, like the way he comes out of the pocket. There are few people in this league that can do what Carson Wentz does. And what really bothers me is like, I feel like it's the historical lineage of Philadelphia that makes people this way. It's because Philadelphia is used to bad things happening. They are used to feeling as if, we're waiting for that one moment where everything just falls down. Then when it's like, you get 2 nice things, like just because 2 great things smack you in the face at the same time, that's not a problem. You should be blessed for that. You should appreciate that. Think about it. We have a savior who came out of the dust to bring us our first Super Bowl championship. And we also have a franchise quarterback that few other guys can compete with in terms of the special things he does on the football field. I'm tired of seeing Eagles fans, even recently, like I'm saying, he goes to the Chicago Bears now, and I've heard some people say to me like, oh, he's back in the NFC. The Eagles better worry about him. They should have kept Nick Foles. Like, no. And don't get me wrong. I am grateful for both of them. Nick Foles will forever have a place in the heart of Philadelphia. He is a Philly legend. He'll never have to pay for another meal. If he comes back to live here, he will be respected by everyone. But then Carson Wentz, just because Nick Foles was the dude to come in and save us that season and win that Super Bowl, that does not mean that you have to feel some type of way about Carson Wentz. What do you think that Wentz thinks when he sees all this back and forth? Like, some people just absolutely despise him. And some people just absolutely love him. This is Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. We are known for how we support our players and give them unconditional love. And what really gets me is it's the same people that talk about Wentz like that, where in 4 to 5 years, say Carson Wentz continues to get injured, or just say he's not playing at a high level anymore and he's not that quarterback. It'll be the same people who will say, oh, the Eagles never do anything. They should go and trade up for a quarterback. Why is Howie Roseman not doing anything? It'll be those same people. When in reality, sometimes you just have to take a step back and realize how good you have it. Carson Wentz, think about what we traded to get him. Think about how special he looked in 2017. And even these past couple seasons, he has not played bad. He has just gotten hurt. Look at his completion percentage. Look how many interceptions he's throwing. It's low. Look at some of the special plays this guy can do. And it's time that Philly, everyone in Philly, backs behind him, because the people that do support him know what I'm talking about. This dude is in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. Stop disrespecting him and stop taking something out on him that wasn't his fault. He's, you could say, entering his prime. Like, this is his time. Give him the weapons that he needs, and everyone has to be behind him. Because when we give this dude some top weapons, I'm telling you, he will be on that MVP level. And what he showed me this last season was heart and leadership, and that he can be that main dude in the locker room. He's just getting better in my eyes. He's developing. He's maturing. Philly, start to appreciate the dude. Would you rather be back with Sam Bradford, with Mark Sanchez? No. Take a step back. Look at the situation. Look how lucky we are right now. And cherish this dude before it is too late and before we will have to go and try to draft another quarterback. This dude can compete and this dude can win. Let me know your thoughts down below on everything. I do appreciate you guys for staying with me throughout the quarantine. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.